Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Real Foods Kitchen. Going to be doing a steak and potatoes in this week's video. Top sirloin and Yukon Gold potatoes. Great budget-friendly cut of meat with some delicious roasted potatoes. So let's get started. As always, we're going to start by touching up the blade on our knife. Next, we're going to take our freshly washed Yukon Golds and we're going to cut each one of them in half. Next, we'll toss them with a little bit of thyme, granulated garlic, and some ground rosemary. The cooking fat that we're using today is duck fat. Throw it in the microwave for 5 to 10 seconds just to turn it into liquid, and then we're going to add it to the mix. I like using duck fat here. It has a really rich, full flavor that goes great with the potatoes, but when I don't have duck fat, I use all kinds of other different oils: olive oil, avocado oil. You could use bacon fat. Sometimes I even use coconut oil. But if you are going to use coconut oil, just be careful that you use the refined oil instead of the extra virgin. Otherwise, your potatoes will taste like coconuts and it can be a really unpleasant combination. So as you're putting these on the sheet pan, we want to make sure that we put each potato face down. This way they brown really well. And you'll also notice that I haven't put any salt on these yet, especially not on the faces, because that'll draw out moisture and it'll really have an effect on how well they caramelize. So once these are properly seasoned, we're going to put them in a 400-degree oven, and then we're going to start working on our steak. So top sirloin does in fact come from the loin on the cow. It just comes from the side that's closer to the round, which makes it a little bit tougher than some of the other loin cuts like tenderloin or New York. You'll notice I'm patting the meat dry. I always do this when I pan roast or pan sear something. Any excess moisture that's on the meat can really interfere with caramelization, and you're not going to get that dark color you want if what you're searing or roasting is wet. Next, we'll trim off any excess fat and or connective tissue. I usually put this into a Ziploc bag in the freezer and just add to it periodically. Eventually, all that collagen and fat ends up getting roasted off and put into my beef stock whenever I make it. I'm kind of a purist when it comes to seasoning steak. Just use salt and pepper, and that's about it. Every once in a while, I'll do maybe like a rosemary and garlic, or even like a smoked paprika and garlic, but usually it's just salt and pepper. So here we're using a cast iron skillet and olive oil. Just a kind of a pro tip, make sure your pan is really hot before you add the oil to it. This creates a natural non-stick surface on the cast iron, whereas adding oil to a cold pan, then heating it up, can sometimes cause the steak to stick. So once you've got a nice deep brown sear on both pieces of meat, we're going to go ahead and flip them over, and we're going to put them in that 400-degree oven right next to the potatoes. And that's about it. After about 5 or 6 minutes in the oven, your steak's likely ready to go. You're going to want to pull it out and let it rest for maybe 5 to 7 minutes, and then it should be ready for you to cut into it. I'm a big fan of slicing my steak, and then I'll take the pan drippings, season them up really good with some salt and pepper, and then I'll drizzle them over the steak and potatoes. And there you have it, folks. Steak and potatoes. Very simple, straightforward meal, easy to throw together, only a few ingredients. I specifically chose top sirloin for this video because I really think it's an underrated steak. This one came out particularly good, as you can tell here.
That's pretty good.
Well, that's it for this week, guys. Thanks a lot for stopping by. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more.